Good morning. Today is August. What is today? The first weekend of August. The weather was supposed to be sunny. It's actually kind of cloudy, and I'm not really sure if it's going to rain or not. Our agenda today, kind of a mixed bag. We are stopping off in the Greater Five Bogs. We are going to deploy some trail cams today, and then we are going to head north and do some aerial surveying of the Bowtie area, weather permitting, of course, because the weatherman seems like he got this one wrong. We are going to do that. That's our agenda for the day. Should the weather prove to be a factor, we may change that plan, however, since we're suddenly not in the plan. Plan A is in flux right now. So we're going to do that. We're going to get moving, and we'll see where things go. Basically, we are making our way to the Bowtie area. The first day, first segment of the morning is more the fact that we deployed some trail cams, 3 in total in the Five Bogs area, in an attempt to monitor that area, since we're going to be moving a little bit further up here towards the north in the next few weeks. And see where that goes. Again, I think I've covered this in a different video, but the nature of this area is there's a potential third one of them up here, more elusive than the other two. Not that they're not elusive, they're just, I've had more overall contact with them over a couple of years, and there's a certain pattern to what they do depending on the time of year. Whereas this one wanders around more, it seems, and that makes him more elusive. But people have been through here, because it seems like a lot of the obstacles the first time we came around have been cleared. Somebody came through and gave some TLC to the trail. It was pretty overgrown when I came through here before, which is not a bad thing per se. Like, you practically needed a machete the first time in spots. Doesn't look that bad, but there are places where it's a little thicker in the underbrush portion. But the non-sunny day that was not predicted continues too. It's not really doing anything, but it is cloudy, so. But worst case scenario, we have a rain poncho in the pack that will get poked full of holes by the pointy sticks, should I have to walk through the underbrush in it. But, you know, that's going to be anyone. That's why I get the cheap $4 one, because the $12 one or the $20 one suffers from the same limitations. So it's better to potentially waste $4 than 20. Simple math there. We're just kind of starting the day out, actually, other than the hike in to deploy cameras. The only thing to really tell from that is that I picked some spider web off me and I walked through. But we're going to try to... Last few times I've tried to get in here, the rain factor has made getting into that particular first bog that makes up the first portion of the Bowtie, that makes me call it the Bowtie area, was kind of waterlogged, making getting in there problematic. An undue pain in the butt. A little bit of an observation, there's a big burl on a tree over there. There was a guy on the Bigfoot subreddit a week or so ago trying to pass off a burl as a Bigfoot in a tree, and I guess his claim was that he went back the next day and the burl wasn't there, but he had a before photo, he didn't have an after photo to make that point. So it's a dubious claim. But damn it. It's gotten to be a peeve of mine, just the people that are trying to present bullshit as evidence. I mean, that's like 99% of all stick structure crap too. And there are people I've found that get really, really offended when you don't buy into their every weird stick pile thing was done by Bigfootism. That gets incredibly tiresome. And pretty little pond here. Bear with us. It's kind of a tradition that I kind of photo the seasonal changes of these 3 ponds. And yeah, so first segment we're going to do with the poor man's GoPro. On a completely un-Bigfoot related note, at some point in the near future, I've been tempted to use one of my poor man GoPros to do what some brainy college kids have done and put a weather balloon in the air, because basically the theme is they go crazy high into the air, like the edge of space, and you get some amazing footage of the Earth from literally space. And then the thing pops and you deploy because of the pressure and all that, or lack thereof maybe. And the thing then deploys a parachute. Here's that overgrown part. And yeah, we're gonna do this. It's just easier to go down here. We don't bleeping kill ourselves doing it. And as testimony by other people that have apparently done the same thing, and then you gotta burst back out though. And this is arguably no better. But you know what? This is not the path. Ah, hell. All right, never mind. We're going all the way through. We committed. Guess we're bushwhacking for a bit. Parallel. That's the part, I guess, they didn't repair, but walking through this is really no better, so we're gonna kind of force ourselves back out onto the trail. But who said this wasn't compelling video? Well, maybe not, but yeah, I thought that'd be something cool to try sometime. The one concern I have is the landing, because the area that I live in is pretty heavily populated, densely populated, so the you have to bear that in mind too. The sun is trying to poke through. Yeah, the last part of this trail gets pretty overgrown. You can't win. Right in the eye. Spider webs. Yeah, because I saw one the other day where somebody did that. It was pretty cool. I wish they hadn't time-lapsed the re-entry though, because that was kind of neat to watch the ground rush. Moose shit in the middle of the trail. More moose shit in the middle of the trail. You can, God forbid you ever make a quiet entry onto the sandy meadow right ahead of us, because you're just not gonna surprise anything. Orb weavers. I think this was Manitou. Okay. Sandy Meadow. So, just picking my directions for drone usage. We're going to first try to actually make entry into, oh yeah, another observation from social media this week. If you're down to the point where you're showing dried out dead grass as a Bigfoot track, moose crap, you probably need a new hobby, because that's when you should probably strongly consider giving up. A lot of how dry this first part is going to mandate how easy it is to get into the greater area. It's looking drier than it did the last time though. Just for a view, the relative size of this beaver pond, which is what it is. Let's see. And it's still soggy though. Moose pellets. The area I left the cameras in is kind of like this because the theory is it's a bedding area for ungulates, deer, moose, hopefully, and the passers-by, potentially. God forbid the two. If I ever got a picture like that on a trail cam, I'd be kind of torn on how I want to handle that. Yeah, I'd be kind of torn because your first instinct is to yell out, "Hey, look what I have!" But some of the caveats moose tracks, people don't consider are, one, people might well steal your content. That is a real thing on YouTube, unfortunately. And then, of course, you're just going to have the jackanapes that will immediately scream hoax because everybody knows that Bigfoot doesn't play ball with trail cams, which is as much conjecture as anything else in the way of Bigfoot theory. So, you son of a bitch. Sorry about that. I mentioned how much I love the undergrowth and its many attempts to trip you up. That's why in some cases the less moving parts you have when you're hiking, the better if you're going to do stuff like this. Big pile of moose crap. But forgotten what a pain in the butt this is in this particular area. But almost there. Little dryness factor because you got all this mud. Alright, so this is our first crossing. Kind of go over this way. If the mud isn't too sinky, actually we can just do right here. scratch that, because the mud is sinky, and therefore we will avoid as much as we can. Looks like Bullwinkle did the same thing. So, yeah, if your best effort is dried grass on your trailer park lawn, not mentioning names, of course, but then you might consider hanging up your efforts, because that's just sad. Okay. And more undergrowthy stuff. But nothing insurmountable here, just pokers here that you want to not get impaled by. And we're almost there. And once upon a time I thought it'd be cool to hammock in here, but the amount of just day-to-day hazard going through the undergrowth in the daytime, at night, just honestly would just not be worth it. Basically, I'm insinuating you'd kill yourself in here at night, just tripping over stupid undergrowthy stuff to avoid having to walk through shit like that. Like these damn bushes I can't stand and poker stuff. Alright, we're not even there yet. Almost there. Again, a lot of this is going to come down to how much rain it's been. If this thing's walkable or quicksand. And if it's quicksand, the most annoying part of all this is the trail is up there about 100 yards. We're kind of backtracking around. But, yeah. Common eastern newt. And I'm going to break a roll and walk under that. And we are literally following the moose still, which I suppose is a good thing now. Last time we tried this, we literally sank in, and this wasn't walkable, but it was later in the year and there'd been rain. I'm hoping this is dry this time, and I can get the drone in the air. Over this. Since the first time I did this, I didn't get all the way in. And this time, let's see what we got. So far, so-so. Fuck! Sorry, we'll edit that out. Semi-walkable, we will stick to the sort of the edge of this thing and more or less hope for the best. And if I remember right, there's more than a few hidden streams in the tall grass to beware of too. So, but in the middle of this, there's a dry spot in a sandy area that I can get the drone up straight in the middle if the terrain holds up. And That is the hope. But you will, of course, play it safe. Otherwise, oh, frog. Shite. It's hard to tell if this is dry or a mud pit because you can't see where you're going. And it's getting to where you can't see your feet in the shit. Let's fall back and punt for a sec, or walk over this way, find some drier ground where I can actually see what the F I mean, I can't even see where I'm going in this. Shit. Fall back. Follow the known good back, and we're gonna try to... You think I was in Manitou trying to get through this crap. You would think I was in Manitou. Trying to, it's been a few years since I've been in here, so I'm trying to remember how this stuff is really thick. Stop trying to trip me. Jesus Christ. This is proving questionable in terms of the doability because I just can't see where I'm putting my feet, and that is daunting. This is proving frustrating. I mean, I'm very tenderly kind of trying to follow the tree line as best I can, and God forbid not run up on something bearish or the like. I guess this is dry anyway for the moment. Hidden stream, as I mentioned. That's a little less miserable, okay. And if I remember right, get all this lovely piney stuff off me. There's a dry spot over here. If I don't sink it up to my knees in this crap. And from there, we'll hopefully get the drone up around the corner here. Now I remember why I didn't fully explore this damn thing. It is completely beastly. But somewhere in here is a sandy patch where I'm turning around, and we'll fall back to the sandy meadow, but I would like to launch from in here. That would be better if there's actual like dry ground like This would actually work. This rock thing right here. Let's see what else we have though. Since or am I remembering this wrong? Or it could just be it looks different 2 years later. That never happens. Okay, so a couple of that spot back there was looking good. If we're going to cut our losses here, because I mean our feet are wet. That's already done. That's unavoidable. And to get over to that might be your sandy spot, and it's all mud. You know what we're going to do? We're going to fall back to that rock, and that will be our launch site. And even if we only do a pop-up, we are going to do that. Where'd our rock go? Right there. This is probably as good as you're going to get. This charming little spot here. So, with a big pile of moose shit right in the middle. It's probably your Bullwinkle's bed. All right, we're going to take a break. And we're back. Had a good drone flight. You missed a lot of swearing as I was going through the, basically that. And as you can see, this is a little easier, so we're doing this instead, which is still not perfect, but a lot easier than slogging through that crap. Jesus. And we'll figure out where the path of least resistance is here to get back to the beaver pond and cross over. But I'm looking for where the spot the cross is, because it's getting thick itself. That's what I think of you. Okay. So let's kind of figure this out. Because basically what I want to do, I can't even see through this shite, is see if I can get over. I don't want to go into that. And see if this is walkable without getting stuck in this stuff. Possibly, if I mind my footing. And that'll put me over here where I can actually see where the hell I'm going. Whew, fun. Not. All right, so from here, I'm amazed that the GoPro didn't fall off during my journey through the swamp. But whatever. Now we head back towards the big pond over there, and civilization such as it is. Interesting how you sort of lose your sense of direction a little bit in here, but I accomplished what I did, what I came to do, which is basically get the greater bow tie area on the drone cam, which is that was the major secondary part of the mission. So we've done that, and move with caution. I might be near a yellow jacket's nest, and don't want to trigger their wrath. I gotta watch this. It's not all. Anyway, we seem to have, make sure nothing fell out of pockets, and more or less reverse the way we came, and find our way back. Unfortunately, so far, no sign of number 3, as I call him, but presuming it's a male. But this hike is always good for an ironic workout. Anyway. And it's an interesting idea. There's a wetland sort of near where the car is parked, and since it looks like I'll have more drone battery left, that could be interesting. Scat pile. In that case, I'm thinking bear. But let's get back topside and it was cool before, now it's slightly muggy. Probably from walking through a swamp or something. Who'd have thunk it? Squish, squish. Get a nice vista of all this in the Beaver Lodge. It was just today I was telling a different hiker, for all the beaver lodges you see and for all the beaver sign, for all the time and all the impact they make on the land, which they obviously do, I've seen like one whole beaver going through this stuff in all that time. All right, I have had my fill of squishy, crappy swampland, so we're gonna get up this little hill and okay. And more or less, we're back. And we're back. The second drone flight was interesting. The controls had a hiccup and the drone started flying over the pond, and we had to call him back. So, I almost just stepped in moose poo. Basically, I've been following Bullwinkle in his travels the whole time this afternoon. But, yeah, the drone made a break for it. I had to call him back. He's had an action-packed day, and he came down in the weeds the first time. Not by accident. There wasn't really any better place to put him. But you know, sometimes you got to do what you got to do. Like this. But anyway, my thoughts on droning further for the day are the wind is deceptively breezy in the 20-mile-an-hour range, and just kind of at the cusp where it plays with the drone more than I like. So, sorry. I have mixed feelings about, I want to pop up over like a wetland or something over where the car is parked. I'm wondering if that's worth the effort, because I really don't feel like picking the drone out of the trees. I've done that once or twice, and it's, believe it or not, it's not the most fun you'll have in a day. But I had 2 goals today, one of which was to deploy trail cams. That was a success. More moose poo. Bullwinkle, you need a white buddy. Or as well as to fly over the bow tie area, which, here's that overgrown part I hate. Good God. But, we didn't lose the camera amazingly either. So, basically, all missions accomplished, more or less. Didn't have the most rigorous agenda today, but pine stuff off the camera. I guess upcoming announcements next week. I guess we're moving north towards, have a look at southern Manitou, the southern end of it. Hold that thought, didn't I? Yeah, you did. Have a look in there. That is technically a new area since I've usually gone into the middle of Manitow. This would be considered the southern end of it. I have mixed feelings about the greater Manitow area because on the one hand, I have not really found any evidence of, I mean, it's a squatchy as hell area, don't get me wrong. I mean, you look in there, it looks like prime habitat, but it's never had anything actually happen in there. There might have been, there's an area across the way getting kind of diagonal to it called Splashtown, which is an old flooded out dead section of forest, kind of a spooky area, but it had maybe a weird vocal at one point, but nothing definitive. I've been in there. But the other area, it is just getting in and just getting out is a fairly manly feat. It's the swampiness I went through today is not nearly as bad. I mean, there's a couple of videos you can judge for yourself of me making my way into Manitow. And it's, in more than one stretch, it is just rough going. And really ought to pay attention to this trail more. I have come right up and spooked a bear on this trail before. And granted, he ran away, but that was a single bear. Single guy bear, not a mama with cubs bear. That could be different. But just do a quick little passenger check. I think we're good. I have right near there, though, had an aggressive run-in with what I think was a coy wolf. Or, if you want to be more folkloric about it, with Glastonbury Mountain not being that far away, I think part of the folklore of, for those on the other coast or further out, like my buddy Soren in Denmark, if you don't mind the shout out, the whole greater area is kind of commonly known as the Bennington Triangle, which is one, as I pick pine needles out of the back of my neck. It's an area of high weirdness. There's a few of them in the New England area, not to exclude rather the Bridgewater Triangle, the Hockomock Swamp, the Bennington Triangle, and I'm sure there's others that are maybe more local. Manitow kind of fits that area because it's an area I came into the know about through shared locals' knowledge and folklore. Of course, I being a foreigner didn't have anything happen yet, but you never know. But either a coy wolf, an exceedingly unusual black coyote, or mystery black canid that was stalking small game in the underbrush. And that's always going to be one of the more unsettling things you hear, is when you're in the underbrush. That short step is something getting ready to pounce. And I've heard that. It's unsettling. And then made worse by the fact that it came bursting out of the freaking undergrowth at me. And of course my my camera skills were fleeting when I was thinking, oh shit, I'm under attack by some kind of like that vicious little toad under this tree right here that's trying not to get stepped on. We missed him. But it was definitely a canine, definitely all black, species unknown. And to answer the silliness of somebody who asked, no, it was not Dogman. There is, in my opinion, no such thing. Although that's based on never running into one, and if I ever do, I will probably be seeking new hobbies and underpants at the time. So, little comment there about Dogman. I don't believe in him, but if I see one, I will rethink my hobby set. But we are coming to the end of this segment, I think, only because the battery life on my camera is running low, and we'll call it by the two ponds here.